During summer vacation, my account and photos were stolen by a scammer who used them to have online relationships. When freshman year started, I had no idea what had happened, yet somehow, I ended up with 10 boyfriends. What's even weirder? They were all in my class. Dragging my suitcase, I stood in the corner, my emotions a tangled mess, staring at them in stunned silence. Am I being cornered and robbed by 10 hot guys? I really couldn't wrap my head around it. How could something this absurd happen? 10 boyfriends, this kind of thing isn't exactly easy to handle, you know? They all started talking at once, chattering left and right. It scrambled my brain, and it took forever to sort things out. Turns out, these heartthrobs were all the boyfriends I dated over the summer. Unbelievable. Not only did they know me as Lucy, but they'd even sent me quite a few red envelopes. Some I dated for 2 months. Others I dumped after just 2 days. Looking at them, I was equal parts angry and amused. They were total love, struck fools seriously. It was sad and laughable all at once. God, who the hell did this? Stole my account, my photos, used them to date guys and got 10 boyfriends. I snuck a glance at the hottest guy in the crowd, my heart racing, and asked, "Are you also my boyfriend?" For the record, I'm not a total flirt. He was just that good, looking leaning against the wall. Lazy, and when he smiled, he instantly drew everyone's attention. He didn't seem the least bit worked up, didn't even say a word. Compared to the other duped heartthrobs, he stuck out like a sore thumb. He glanced at me and shook his head. No. Confused, I pressed, "Did I owe you money then?" He paused, then shook his head again. The other boyfriends frowned at him and I was just as puzzled. I knit my brows. "Then why are you butting in?" He sighed and spoke up. "You said you were Lucy. The daughter of the biggest entertainment company's CEO had everything, except a boyfriend. You insisted I be your boyfriend. When I refused, you threw money at me, bank cards, promises to make me an idol, to turn me into the next top-tier celebrity. I'm here to pay you back." I froze. The other boyfriends couldn't help but laugh awkwardly. This was the weirdest scammer I'd ever heard of. They even had a looks filter. The least attractive guys got scammed the most, while Reid? Not only did he not get scammed, the scammer paid him instead. Funny enough, all that money ended up in Reid's hands, covering the losses the scammer had run off with. Even though things worked out in the end, I, a brand new freshman, became instantly famous on campus. No matter how much I explained, my account was hacked, my photos stolen. The scammer did it. Not me, no one believed me. Lily, the class beauty, was my roommate. She led the pack in treating me like a bad luck charm. Being near me seemed to gross them out. As soon as I walked into the dorm, I heard the 3 of them snickering. 2. Timing 9 guys, scamming money to simper for attention. If it were me, I'd never show my face on campus again. Pretending to be a rich pretty girl is one thing, but using stolen money to chase a guy? Does she really think a fancy name means cash? Please, what entertainment CEO is named Jason? That's so tacky. Lily curled her lip, acting like she hadn't seen me, and went on, "Who'd even name themselves that? No one in my family would touch a name that cringy." I stood in the doorway listening and thought, if my dad Jason heard this, he'd blow a gasket. Right as I was stewing, my phone rang. It was my dad, his voice booming. "Honey, how's school?" "I put 5 million on your meal card. Let me know if you need more." My vision went dark. Gritting my teeth, I thought, yep, my dad's definitely one of a kind. A total tycoon, dropping 5 million like it's nothing. Problem is, he put it on my meal card. His entertainment company is real, though my brother runs it now. Mom named him, and it's as bold as can be, Jack. Mom, clearly furious, shouted at Dad in the background, 5 million on a meal card? Are you crazy? Our daughter's not a pig, she can't eat that much. Mom's voice was so loud, Lily and the others heard it and snickered. So this is Lucy. Real big background, huh? I couldn't help but wonder, could someone really be faking this hard in front of me? Another roommate scoffed. Turns out Lucy's a pro at faking it, runs in the family. All show, no substance. Unlike our Lily, who just signed with Sun Peak Entertainment as a freshman. Her cousin's their top agent, and even Reid thinks Lily's different. I clutched my phone, staring at them with a weird look. Sorry to break it to you, but Sun Peak Entertainment is our family's company. I've been suspecting the scammer who stole my account and photos to date guys might be someone close by. Because the 9 boyfriends and the one who'd pursued Reid? All in my class. The 10 hottest guys, no less. Guys in class who hadn't been scammed were ticked off, feeling insulted that I'd rejected them for being ugly. Girls were mad I'd stuck to my own backyard, picking the hottest to ruin. 10 good-looking guys in our class all supposedly touched by me. It was outrageous. Freshman year had barely started and I was already isolated. Thanks to the scammer's nonsense, Reid got squeezed out by the other guys too. Watching him sit alone in the classroom corner, I felt a twinge of sympathy. Suddenly, I got it. Why the scammer had paid him. Who wouldn't fall for a soft, pretty guy? I tiptoed over to Reid, cleared my throat. He looked up, dazed. confusion in his eyes. That cute, handsome look made my heart race. I couldn't stay calm. I sat up straight, blurting out on reflex. Want to be an idol? My dad's Jason, the entertainment company CEO. I can make you a top-tier star. Reid froze, his expression odd. He opened his mouth, then hesitated. Then Lily's angry voice cut in. Lucy, what are you trying to do to Reid now? You still say you didn't do that summer stuff? I turned to see a row of angry glares, full of disbelief and disdain. Oops, old habit. Since high school, I dreamed of becoming a top agent at our family's company, helping my brother make stars and keep the company thriving. That's why I'd applied to art school. Seeing a talent like Reid, I couldn't help myself. I laughed awkwardly, trying to explain. Listen, my dad Jason really does run an entertainment company. Lily scoffed. My dad runs a coal mine, Lucy. Have some shame. No more scamming, so now you're brainwashing yourself? You think Reid's stupid? He won't fall for your garbage. The others nodded, eyes full of wariness. Just as everyone was ganging up on me, Reid blinked and suddenly said, I believe you. Then he asked curious, can you really make me a top-tier star? I froze. Lily gaped. Everyone else looked baffled. I immediately called my brother, telling him to sign red. He was a perfect fit. My brother didn't hesitate, waving his hand to assign the company's best agent to him. After hanging up, I noticed Reid was surrounded by Lily and her crew. Getting closer, I heard Lily trying to brainwash him. Reid, don't let Lucy fool you. She scammed half our class this summer. She loves tricking guys like you. Hot and naive. Stay away from her. The other girls nodded vigorously. Lily lifted her chin. My cousin Coco is Sunpeak's top agent. Reid, if you want to be a star, I can get her to sign you to Sunpeak. We can debut together. Her followers chimed in. Yeah, Lily's not like that liar Lucy. Her cousin's amazing, she'd definitely make you famous. Standing behind them, listening, my face felt cold. Reid, though, didn't react. He just blinked slowly, watching them lazily. Suddenly, my phone pinged a WeChat message. It was from the top agent my brother had assigned. Hesitating, I opened it and asked, Is your name Coco? The reply came quickly. I'm Chunjing. Coco is my assistant. Miss, do you know her? Staring at my phone, then at Lily's smug face, I fell silent. The next noon, I invited Reid to the cafeteria lunch on me, and to meet the top agent my brother had arranged. Soon Lily and her crew marched in. She glared at me like she was guarding Reid from being taken advantage of. Her followers eyed our spread, clearly coveting it. One huffed, so wasteful. This meal could feed me for a month. I sighed. It's not like I wanted to show off. Dad had just put way too much on my meal card. Lily heard that, and her eyes turned red with anger. Lucy, have you no shame? Making Reid treat you to something this expensive. After saying that, she pointed at me and pleaded earnestly to Reid. I told you she's a liar. She's going to cheat you out of your money, then your feelings. Reid slowly swallowed his food, then spoke in his lazy drawl. This meal, she's paying for it. Lily was left speechless, then fumed. She must be putting on a fake show of wealth to impress you. She's probably scammed someone else for the money again. As she finished, her eyes suddenly lit up as if she'd noticed something. Cousin, you really came? I followed her gaze, and there was Chun Jing, the top agent from my brother's company, leading her assistant over. With her cousin, there Lily grew even more arrogant. She tilted her chin, sneering. My cousin Coco's here to sign him to Sunpeak Entertainment. You kept saying you'd make him a top star, so which company are you planning to sign him to? Where's this agent of yours? Then she turned to Reid. I told you I wouldn't lie to you. My cousin will definitely make you famous. Lily's followers looked at her with admiration and envy. I smiled faintly. Oh, it's also Sunpeak Entertainment. And she's here now too. One of the followers scoffed immediately. Are you trying to ride on her coattails? The one here is clearly Lily's cousin. Don't tell me you're claiming your agent is Lily's cousin too? I glanced at the two approaching figures in the distance and sighed. That wasn't it at all. Lily was already convinced I was bragging. She shot me a dismissive look with her chin raised, then told her followers to wait for her outside the cafeteria first, while she walked toward her cousin. She reached Coco, speaking ingratiatingly. Cousin, you're here. Oh, by the way, one of my classmates wants to sign with our company. He's really handsome. I'll introduce him to you later. I watched them quietly and it suddenly clicked. So, she was afraid her followers would find out the top agent wasn't her cousin but Chun Jing. That's why she'd hurried to send them away. Lily noticed me staring, and her expression turned once more. Chun Jing spotted me, and her face lit up with a smile. She strode over, while Lily behind her still stared at me in a daze, seemingly unaware of what was happening. When Chun Jing reached me, she smiled and said, Young lady, so this is where you are. Lily's eyes widened in shock. Why, young lady? I nodded. That's me. Lily looked like she was about to cry. Reid had already signed with my brother's company, but he put forward one condition. He wanted me to be his agent. I hesitated. I was still a freshman after all. But when Chun Jing heard about it, she laughed and said, "Young lady, didn't you always plan to be an agent at the company after graduation? This is the perfect chance to start with your classmate." And so it was settled. I became Reid's agent. When Chun Jing was about to leave, I realized Lily had quietly slipped away at some point. In the days that followed, Lily avoided me like I was a plague. As Reid's first agent, my biggest goal aside from studying was to make him a star. In 10 days, it would be the freshman welcome gala. I planned to put Reid in it, hoping he'd shine there and make his debut with a bang. I racked my brain to find a show-stopping performance for him. Unfortunately, Reid couldn't sing or dance, so we ended up settling on a play. Soon, we hit a second problem. Because Reid and I were so unpopular in our major, we couldn't find a third person to join the play. What's more, people resented seeing us together all the time. Lily didn't say anything, but her followers grew even more dismissive of me. Vic was one of my 9 ex-boyfriends. According to the scammer's hottest boyfriends ranking, Vic came in second only behind Reid. He'd been scammed out of 200 yuan. On the second day of Reid and me sticking together, Vic found me. He stood in front of me, looking down and said, "Lucy, let's get back together." I froze. Reid slowly put down his chopsticks and looked up at him. Vic met Reid's gaze, then smirked disdainfully, pointing at him. "Reid's just a kept man. He's good looking, but he's living off a woman. What do you see in him? Lucy, if you break up with this pretty boy and get with me, I'll let the past go. I'm richer than him, I'll spend as much money on you as you want." His words were full of swagger, just like some cliché novel's domineering CEO. If Lily was the ringleader of the girls' Paiji then Vic was the head of the guys' Paiji Red. He was even more popular in our major than Reid. Though he wasn't as good looking, he had money, so everyone looked up to him. I couldn't help glancing at Reid. He was staring at the table, looking a little dejected. Anger flared in me. This was the first time someone had flaunted their wealth to my face, and dared to pick on Reid first. I scoffed, channeling my brother's aura, and slammed my meal card down hard on the table. "I don't want to hear you badmouth Reid ever again. There's 4.9 million here. Take it and get lost." It's not that I didn't want to slap down a check, but I hadn't brought my bank card or checks today. The meal card would have to do. The cafeteria fell dead silent. After a while, someone muttered, "Is Lucy out of her mind?" Because I'd rejected Vic, his lackeys started badmouthing me behind my back, calling me ungrateful and crazy. And Reid's, and my reputations took another hit. Reid was labeled the penniless, talentless pretty boy living off a woman, while I was the fool who scammed people online, then stole her parents' money to keep a pretty boy. Both our names were dragged through the mud, and we became the poster children for being kept. Next, Vic decided to use bullying tactics to ruin our play. But right before the gala, Lily volunteered to join our play. We just happened to be short on people. I agreed without hesitation. When the program list was submitted, Lily's followers and Vic's gang were stunned. Vic's lackeys and Lily's followers huddled together, analyzing it for ages. Finally, one of Lily's followers clapped her hands excitedly. Lily must be infiltrating the enemy camp to expose Lucy the liar. To pull Reid out of the fire. One of Vic's lackeys sneered, "Reid's no good either." I bet Lily's doing this to get back at him for Vic, to ruin their gala performance and make them infamous. They looked at each other and chorused, "Genius. Lily's a genius." Reid and I both turned to stare at Lily wary. Lily hurried to say, "You have to believe me. I really don't have any bad intentions." She glared angrily at the dozen or so people in front of her, stood up and snapped, "What's wrong with you? Spouting nonsense. I genuinely want to join them." The dozen or so people exchanged a look that screamed, "We get it," and said nothing. Lily looked ready to cry. Not long after that, Vic sought me out alone. He said, "Regretting it yet?" I stared at him, thinking he was nuts. "Then don't blame me," he said. Vic turned to leave, his back oozing coldness. He walked over to Lily, lowered his voice. "Since she's so stubborn, I won't protect her anymore. Do whatever you want, no need to hold back for my sake." Lily looked at him like he was an idiot. "Wait, are you crazy?" Vic didn't get angry. He gave her a "I understand" look, then stalked off coldly. Lily turned to me, on the verge of tears. "Young lady, please listen to me. I really wasn't planning anything." I nodded, then whispered to Reid, "He's so cringy." Reid nodded too. His brain might be broken. Vic, who was walking away, paused. He finally couldn't hold back, spinning around to glare at us angrily. "We'll see how long you can keep this pretty boy with your scammed and stolen money. And you," he pointed at Reid, sneering, "a penniless, spineless kept man. You'll be tossed aside sooner or later." I whispered to comfort Reid, "Don't listen to him. You're going to be a top star. We don't need to stoop to his level." Reid looked at my serious face, smiled softly and nodded, "Okay." I couldn't help clutching my chest, my heart racing. "Oh my god, Mom, he's so handsome. I have to make him a top star." To make Reid shine at the welcome gala, I'd not only asked my brother to arrange a professional photography, marketing, and makeup team, but also picked a particularly charming role for him. Since it was a romance play, the female lead mattered too. Considering Lily was signed to my brother's company and had been doing well lately, I decided to give her the role, letting her share in the spotlight. As for me, I'd just be a background narrator. But when I announced this decision, Reid's smile vanished instantly. He frowned slightly, looking a little wronged. "Aren't I your favorite artist? You know she's always trying to hit on me." "Impossible," I quickly said. "You're the apple of my eye." Watching Reid lower his head, his ears turning pink, looking uncomfortable, a surge of determination filled me. Reid was my first artist, and it was my duty to protect his innocence. I suddenly remembered there was a misplaced kiss scene in the play. I immediately shot a wary glance at Lily. She quickly took 2 steps back, as if seeing a flood or a wild beast, keeping her distance from Reid. "No, no, no. How dare I lay a finger on the young lady's man? You should be the female lead instead." Considering Lily did have a history of this, and Reid seemed to have developed a psychological shadow, fearing she'd take advantage of him, I had no choice but to replace her as the female lead and step into the role myself. Reid might not be good at singing or dancing, but he was a natural actor. I never expected that the alluring male role I'd chosen for him would first bewitch me during rehearsals. When Reid leaned down close, I looked into his affectionate eyes and his distinct, long eyelashes, and my heart pounded wildly. Then I fled in panic. What a sin! I actually lusted after his looks. I'd abused my position. I was a monster. After that day, I ate vegetarian meals for days. Living a life of purity and simplicity made Reid in front of me seem like a small cabbage. Maybe I wasn't that tempted anymore. The performance at the Welcome Gala was a huge success. The photography team shot high-quality photos and HD videos to upload online, and the top-tier marketing team lent their support. Our performance immediately became a trending topic. Reid and I were an instant hit. The internet was flooded with comments asking for our contact information. However, before long, dirt was dug up on both of us. I was labeled a fake wealthy beauty who scammed people in online relationships, and Reid was called a kept man. In an instant, the internet erupted with insults. Classmates in our major pointed and whispered when they saw Reid and me. Vic found me again, advising me not to be stubborn. Staying with Reid would only end badly, and my reputation was already ruined. He said, "Why not turn over a new leaf and stop scamming people? Being poor isn't your fault. Just be with me and I'll spend money on you." I stared at him in confusion. "I'm not poor." Vic frowned, looking at me disappointedly. From his expression I read, "I can't believe you're still being stubborn at a time like this." His lackey chimed in behind him. "Bro, she never changed. When she really runs out of money and Reid dumps her, she learned her lesson." Lily also tried to explain, "Actually, she really is rich." I nodded vigorously. No sooner had the words left her mouth than a surprised voice from one of Lily's followers came from behind. Sun Peak Entertainment just announced they've signed Reid and Lily as artists. Lily's amazing she got Sun Peak to sign Reid. No wonder Lily acted in that play. It was the company's idea. Lucy really lucked out, riding Reid's coattails for attention. But so what? The entertainment company didn't sign her. Serves her right for crossing our Lily. Vic turned to Lily with a dark look. "Did you get Reid into Sun Peak Entertainment?" I followed his gaze to Lily as well. Lily almost jumped, waving her hands frantically. "And no, it wasn't me." Before Lily could finish, Vic didn't seem to care. He sneered, stubbornly saying, "Reid's going to be an artist now. A pretty boy like him can't stay with a regular poor person like you forever. I'm running out of patience. If you break up with him now and be with me, I'll still spend money on you." Unexpectedly, one of Lily's followers spoke up, her voice trembling. "Sun Peak Entertainment released another statement. You guys should check it out. Lucy. She really does seem rich." Almost simultaneously, everyone looked down at his phone. I opened mine in confusion and found a post from Sun Peak Entertainment. "Lucy is the young lady of Sun Peak Group. There is no kept relationship between her and our artist Reid. The young lady currently serves as Reid's agent." The post also tagged those who'd spread rumors about me being a scammer and sent them lawyers' letters. Then someone asked, trembling, "What about Jason?" Sun Peak Entertainment replied, "Chairman Jason is the company's former president and the father of the current president." I looked up after reading and next, Lily spoke up, her face expressionless, her voice faint. "Why wouldn't you listen to me? Lucy really is rich." After a long moment, Vic asked me, "If you're rich, why did you scam other people's money?" I told the truth, my photos and account were really stolen. Pausing, I added, "So it wasn't me who dated you. Don't come looking for me anymore." Vic looked a little... I felt a twinge of sympathy. But the next second, he suddenly looked up and said, "I still think Reid isn't right for you. Consider me instead." Reid frowned, clearly displeased. I pulled out my meal card, ready to throw money at him. "There's 4.9 million in here. Take it and get lost." Vic left with a dark face. The scammer rumors collapsed on their own, and Lily clarified the lies she told before. Her cousin Coco wasn't a top agent at my brother's company, just an assistant to one. Her former followers were upset about her bragging and gradually distanced themselves from her. But after this roller coaster, Lily seemed to care nothing for such empty fame. Instead, she followed me around like a shadow every day, insisting I be her agent too. I figured managing one was fine, managing two was okay too. Plus, Lily was in my major, with good skills and quick wit. So in my sophomore year, I waved my hand and signed her. However, given Lily's past, I initially worried she'd take advantage of Reid, since her infatuation with him was obvious. To my surprise, after keeping an eye on her for a while, I found she now seemed to thoroughly dislike Reid. Reid, too, had dropped his previous gentleness, often scowling at Lily. The moment I turned my back, they'd start bickering. That summer, under my expert management, Reid had already made a name for himself in the entertainment industry. I even got him a role in a drama. Lily, though, remained stuck in mediocrity. I worried a lot about her future. Later, Reid handed me an application form for a girl group audition. My eyes lit up and I promptly stuffed Lily into it. At first, Lily was excited until she heard it was Reid's idea, and then she immediately changed her mind. She curled her lip, saying, "Young lady, Reid just wants to pack me off to that audition so he can have you all to himself. I'm telling you, he's after you. Don't fall for his tricks, he's such an old green tea. A scheming poor guy like him loves rich young ladies like you. He'd definitely sell his looks to have you boost his career forever." After saying that, she shot Reid a venomous glare. Reid's face darkened instantly. I quickly said, "You're overthinking it. Reid only wants what's best for you." Lily took a look at Reid, her expression full of disdain. "Reid, give up. A plain nobody like you is no match for the young lady." Reid was much more sensible, not rising to her argument. Instead, he thoughtfully reminded me, "Lucy, the audition starts tomorrow." I slapped my forehead. "Oh right. Lily, you should head over tonight then." Lily looked resentful but went in the end. After Lily left, it was time for Reid to join the film crew. My heart swelled with pride. I'd taken another big step toward becoming a top agent. The day after Reid left, I planned to go to the company to scout for a new artist to manage. But before I could, Reid's assistant called, saying a female investor in her 50s on set had taken a liking to Reid. She'd knocked on his door at night and even touched his face during a meal, obviously trying to exploit him. The second I heard that, I rushed to the set to keep watch. But I was too late. By the time I arrived, the investor who'd groped him was already gone. Still, I remembered her name, a female CEO surnamed Wang from some financial company. The weather's turning cold. It's time to bankrupt the Wangs. I told my brother I wanted the Wangs to go under, and he chewed me out. "Lucy, are you out of your mind, you little disaster? The Wangs are way richer than us. You want your brother to go bankrupt instead?" After hanging up, I burst into tears and grabbed Reid's hand. "Kiddo, I'm so sorry." Reid looked concerned. "What happened? Did your brother yell at you?" I sniffled. "To be sorry to say, I'm useless. I can't even bankrupt the Wangs in finance to get back at them for you. That old lady groped you and you had to put up with it." Reid nearly choked. After a long pause, he said, sounding odd, "It's fine. A little wage means nothing." Reid was being so sensible. It only made me feel worse. I slapped my chest and declared, "From now on, I'll stick to you like glue on set. No one's laying a finger on you again." Reid blinked. "Is that a good thing?" I thought I misheard. "What did you say?" Reid smiled softly. "Then I'll trouble you. I'm glad you're here, otherwise I wouldn't know what to do." I nodded, fired up. Must have misheard him earlier. That night, Reid knocked on my door, asking if I could run lines with him to get familiar with the script. I agreed. But never in a million years did I expect the scene he wanted to run was another anime scene. He wrapped his arm gently around my waist, lowering his eyes to meet mine. His amber irises rippled like pools of emotion, and his voice, laced with a strange charm, delivered the lines slowly. I blinked and my face erupted in heat like it was on fire. Then I fled again. Reid's visit to my room got photographed. Word spread like wildfire. Gossip accounts flooded the internet with exposes claiming Reid and I were having an affair. Even though I clarified immediately, no one believed me. If anything, more people started spreading our scandal. Worse, some fans threatened Reid, saying he had to cut ties with me or they'd unfollow him. Reid's response shocked me. He blocked every single one of them. The fan-loving persona I'd worked so hard to build for him collapsed instantly. Meanwhile, Lily, who was on the girl group survival show, kept texting me to badmouth Reid. The show was supposed to confiscate phones? Where'd she sneak one from? I told her to stop nonsense and focus on the competition instead of messing with her phone. By the end of summer break, Reid finally wrapped his shoot, and Lily took second place on the finale night, debuting successfully. Her popularity skyrocketed to match Reid's, and she started acting high and mighty again. In front of Reid, she held her head higher, constantly whispering Reid's flaws in my ear. I told her to stop provoking him, but she insisted, "Young lady, it's true. No good men in showbiz don't let that scheming poor guy fool you." The weekend after junior year started was my mom's birthday. She'd specifically told me to bring Reid to the party. As the former wife of the biggest entertainment company's CEO, her annual birthday bash was always the talk of the industry. Though she didn't say it, I'd planned to take Reid to soak up her spotlight. And to be fair, I had to bring Lily too. So I called in the makeup team to doll up Lily and Reid, picked out their outfits, and we headed to our villa together. But once we arrived, those two started competing. Lily stood to my left, clinging to my arm, while Reid, on my right, lifted his arm. You will wend her. I hesitated, then threw caution to the wind and looped my arm through his. The three of us marched into the house in that absurd formation. The party was packed, buzzing with energy. To my surprise, I spotted Vic, who'd come with his dad. He scowled at our linked arms, shot Reid a disdainful look and said, "Lucy, I'm not giving up." I ignored him and kept walking. I ran into my brother, who gave me a weird look, like he thought I was nuts. I quickly shook off Lily and Reid. This sandwich life was too much. But what happened next was even more crushing. I saw a sharp, stylish woman chatting warmly with my mom. Arm in arm, and recognized her as Mia, the old lady who groped Reid on set trying to exploit him. I tensed up, scanning the room for help, ready to panic. Mia spotted me first, smiled warmly, and walked over to take my hand. "So this is Lucy. Just as bright and pretty as your photos. You look too thin. Are you working too hard?" She even brushed my cheek. I froze, silently begging for help, ready to cry. Why won't this lady leave anyone alone? I glanced at my mom, who seemed oblivious her daughter was being groped, and gushed, "Lucy, this is the CEO of one group. Call her auntie." I looked at Lily, who stared everywhere but at me. She clearly recognized Mia. Traitor! She'd sworn she was my little cotton padded jacket, that she cared most about me, but now she was leaving me to fend for myself. Finally, I turned to Reid, my face misery. Reid sighed, stepped over, and pulled me out of Mia's grip. He shot the she-devil a helpless look. "Mom, you're scaring her." I almost wept with gratitude. Reid was my savior. But that "mom" from Reid hit me like a thunderbolt. What did he just call her? I wasn't the only one stunned. Lily gaped, muttering, "Turns out I'm the fool here." Vic, who'd been walking forward, froze, staring at Reid in shock. I'd always thought Reid was poor. Turns out his mom was a finance tycoon, his dad a real estate mogul. They could bankrupt my family without breaking a sweat. Media at the party wasted no time. Soon, every detail of Reid's background was exposed. Gone was his kept man label. Now he was the young master who'd have to inherit the family fortune if acting doesn't work out. A few days later, Reid's drama aired and blew up. Overnight, he gained legions of wife fans and girlfriend fans. He wasn't quite a top-tier star yet, but he was a certified traffic heartthrob. Later, my mom pulled me aside, grinning. "Lucy, who knew you'd really end up with Reid? Of those 10 boys, he was my favorite." "Good job, honey, mom's proud." I looked up sharply. "What 10 boys?" My mom froze, waving her hands. "Nothing." After some torture, I pried the truth out of her. The scammer who'd stolen my account for online dating that summer was her. She thought I'd worked too hard in high school, never dating, so she wanted to set me up for a great college life. And she wasn't lying, she had been picking boyfriends in my name. As for scamming money, theft trivial. Her explanation. Online they say if a guy won't spend money on his girlfriend, he doesn't love her enough. I just wanted to test if your future boyfriend cared about you. I sighed, then asked, "What about Reid?" My mom coughed, looking guilty. "Can you blame me? That boy's so good looking. Besides, we're rich, spending a little on him's fine." Typical mom. Once Lily found out how rich Reid's family was, that fence-sitter flipped again. Now she gushes about Reid in my ear daily, saying we're a match made in heaven, looks, family, everything. I got tired of it, so I booked her a few ads and stuffed her back into the girl group. Vic, who'd pestered me for 2 years, vanished like a wilted eggplant, avoiding me entirely. On the 5th day of Reid, he caught me. I was chatting with a cute freshman from the dance department about his dreams, to be clear. Boy groups were hot lately, and I thought he had potential, planning to sign him. We were mid-conversation when Reid showed up, his face dark. The freshman bolted. Reid grabbed my hand and dragged me to the woods near campus. I seethed. He'd lied to me, and now he was snapping at me. I was about to resist when Reid stopped. He looked down at me seriously. "Lucy, I want a date." I jolted, forgetting my anger. "No, you're on the rise. If you want to be a top star, you need ambition, better keep that single persona." Reid frowned, sounding more annoyed. He threw in the towel. Then I quit. I can afford the penalty. My face fell. Was he really giving up and going home to inherit the fortune? Would my first traffic star crash and burn before I even graduated? A career meltdown before I'd barely started? Reid watched my glum face, then spoke up. "If you want me to keep working for you, I have one condition." My eyes lit up and I looked up. He cleared his throat, his ears turning pink. "Come closer." I leaned in. thinking he had a secret to share. Then he dipped his head and kissed me. After what felt like forever, my brain was mush. I heard him murmur in my ear, "Be my girlfriend and I'll work for you forever. And only be my agent." My head spun and I nodded dazedly. "Okay." His voice was hoarse, making my face burn and heart race. I swear, Reid must know how to cast spells.